You are rolling.
All right, cool. Thank you. Hello. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, I spilled my coffee on the floor. Okay. I need a towel. I spilled the whole cup.
Oh no.
Did you get to drink any of it?
No. It got a little bit on the table.
Where did it come from?
It's McDonald's.
Not McDonald's.
Oh. Start under the board if anyone under the board. Oh, the little smell really good.
Yeah. It's a nice aroma.
I knocked it over. I was getting too excited.
Yeah.
And
Talking about some good stuff on the show.
I'm going to try. Not much going on in Kentucky, is there?
Yeah, just wait on a coach.
Well, and all the things.
Yes, wait on a new.
My cousin's, I guess he's my, whatever your like nephew cousin would be. Like, he's not my cousin on my level. He's a cousin one more down.
Oh,
Twice
removed.
removed.
Yeah.
But he works for Baylor, and apparently the Baylor dude was coming to town to talk, the coach of Baylor. So.
All right, thank you
got
guys.
it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a bad accident there. Spilled my coffee. Man, I'm stupid for doing that.
listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people, WLXU 93.9 LP FM, Lexington, Kentucky.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you can stream the show live from the station website at radiolex.us. I am broadcasting from the Deborah Hensley Studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. It is April the 11th, 2024, 4:01 to be exact. And what a slow news week it has been in the state of Kentucky. Not much has been happening, eh? I mean, it's been a pretty boring week. Nothing really going on in the state. No news to report, other than the fact that John Calipari has left Kentucky for Arkansas. That is correct. John Calipari has officially left his position as the head men's basketball coach for the University of Kentucky and has went to the University of Arkansas. And the news started swirling on Sunday night, which is a perfect night to really break a story, is Sunday night, because you have the rest of the week for all of the morning talk shows to cover your story. I started circling around on X, and I started just looking around, and my first reaction is not true. This has been rumored before. Cal's leaving. I didn't believe it. What was different this time versus the other times? So immediately, I just kind of tuned out the noise. But then this beast of a thing, this beast of a rumor, just started growing and getting bigger and bigger. And I said, uh-oh, there might be a little bit something more accurate about this report than in times past. And it just so happened that it became official on Wednesday, April 10th. It was true. Calipari did officially announce that he is leaving on Wednesday, April the 10th. And I tell you, folks, it is very odd to see John Calipari wearing his red Arkansas jacket. He's already been introduced as the new coach at the University of Arkansas. He's already had his press conference officially. And I have a few sound bites of that press conference of John Calipari being introduced at the University of Arkansas. So in this particular clip, Coach Cal, when he goes to Arkansas, he basically is talking about the deal and when it was struck. And he talks about how he realized that it was time for him to move on and to be the coach of Arkansas. Take a listen at this clip from the press conference of John Calipari being introduced as the Razorbacks head coach. Take a listen.
Maybe less than that. Part of it was talking about other people, and he said, now that you know this, and I know you think this is a great program, why not you? Why not me? Yeah, why not you? Huh. Now, from that meeting, I left and went west. We stayed in touch a little bit. I just want everybody to know here, I didn't want anything out until after the national championship game that we were even talking, because I didn't think it was fair for those two teams and those coaches and those players and those programs. Somebody here leaked it out, though. I don't know who leaked it out, but someone did. But, Hunter, we didn't speak about it because it wasn't fair for those teams. I'll tell you what happened to me. We were out west, and we had a priest with us, a Catholic priest. He gave Mass one morning in his room. And I said to him, Father, I got to decide what I'm going to do here. One is Arkansas, the other is Kentucky. And he told me, go for an hour walk and have in your mind you're the Arkansas coach. And then on the way back, that you're the Kentucky coach. And tell me you'll see what moves your heart and what you want to do. And I did that. And I'll be honest.
And there you go. And because of that, he made the decision to leave Kentucky and go to Arkansas. Now listen, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think it was a great career move by John Calipari to go to the University of Arkansas. I think what he did at Kentucky was great. It was a great era. 15 years is a long time to be anywhere, at any job, to do anything. It is a great number to end up on. 15 years, you can pretty much tie a bow on anything in 15 years. And I feel like that John Calipari's philosophy is going to be suited better at Arkansas because his philosophy is to get players to the NBA, make money for these families. It wasn't working at Kentucky anymore. The mentality at Kentucky is to win. At Arkansas, not so much. So he can go and still do the same thing he's been doing all of these years at Arkansas. Do I think he'll be successful? Of course. I think Calipari is a good coach. I think Calipari has been, he's got proven success. I've harped on that many, many times on this show before, so I do think he'll be successful at Arkansas. It says here that Cal signed a a 5-year, $7 million a year contract with Arkansas. The contract will run through April the 30th, 2029, with a maximum of 2 automatic rollover years for NCAA tournament appearances that would extend the contract to 2031. The deal includes a $1 million signing bonus and features retention bonuses of $500,000 each year of the contract, along with one-time bonuses for making the NCAA tournament, reaching the second round, Sweet 16, Final Four, and winning a national championship. So basically, the further you advance in the tournament, the more money he'll make. The official terms of the contract released Wednesday confirmed that Calipari is essentially set to make at least $7.5 million per season between his starting base salary and the $500,000 retention bonus he gets each year. Calipari's most recent contract with Kentucky was a 10-year, $86 million deal he signed back in June of 2019. So yes, Cal did give up a lot. He gave up his lifetime contract, where he pretty much gave up millions of dollars. But the contract that he has with Arkansas, it's not a bad little deal. When I listen at salaries that coaches make, I'm thinking to myself, man, I went into the wrong job. But really, the big question now is who is going to be the head coach at the University of Kentucky? There's a big vacancy open in Lexington, and that is the head coaching job. In the game of college basketball, there is no better place to coach than Kentucky. It is the Mecca. You are at the Roman Empire of college basketball being at Kentucky. So it blows my mind when I hear of anybody getting offered and turning it down. I wonder sometimes how driven are you in this field? How motivated are you in this field if you're turning it down? Why? Because you're comfortable at your old school? I mean, this is the big leagues. And even if I wasn't a Kentucky fan, if Kentucky, UCLA, North Carolina, Duke, if they come calling, you answer, regardless of your situation of where you're at. You got to go and at least make a name for yourself, especially at Kentucky. You come here even 1 or 2 years, you're mainstream. You are going to gain millions of followers on your social media. You can take that with you to any other job that you go to after Kentucky. So you are a star when you come to Kentucky. So I don't understand why people are turning it down, and there have been people to turn it down. I think officially Dan Hurley of the UCONN Huskies has turned down the job that became official just a few moments ago. They said that Billy Donovan has not officially been offered, but that is who Kentucky is zeroing in on now. At this point, Donovan is the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. I'm all in on that hire. I think it would be a great hire for Kentucky. He has proven success. He took Florida to 2 back-to-back championships. He's made several Final Four appearances at Florida, and he has shown that he knows what it takes to be a good coach. And Donovan has Kentucky ties. His first coaching job was at Kentucky as an assistant under Rick Pitino. So it makes a lot of sense that somebody like Billy Donovan would come to Kentucky. Do I think he will? I really don't know. I don't know why he wouldn't. He's been offered before and he turned it down. He was offered in 2007. He was not offered the job in 2009, contrary to people's belief. People, I hear and see all the time on social media, people saying, 3rd time's a charm. What are you talking about? He was only offered the job at Kentucky once, and that was in 2007. Yes, that was 2007. He turned it down. He said, no way. And in 2009, he was not offered. There was only one man offered for the job, and that was John Calipari. So if Billy Donovan turns it down, who do we go after now? Many people were saying Scott Drew. Thank God he has made it official that he is not interested in the job. I think that Scott Drew would have been an atrocious hire for the University of Kentucky. He does not have the energy, he does not have the personality and what it takes to be the job, to do the job at Kentucky and do it well. I think who Kentucky needs to hire today is Bruce Pearl. I think Bruce Pearl is the only man in the country that can check off all of the boxes that is required to do this job at Kentucky. He has the coaching ability. He has the energy. He has the charisma. He has the motivation to go to Kentucky and win a national championship. Look at what all Bruce Pearl has done at the schools that he goes to. He went to Tennessee and made Tennessee a powerhouse for a few years. He had Tennessee a mainstream school. He took a football school and made them care about basketball. He took them to their first Elite Eight. Then he went to Auburn, took them to a Final Four. Auburn couldn't hardly fill the gym when they played. And now look at an Auburn basketball game. It looks like some of the best fans in college basketball. Bruce Pearl did that. So if he can do that at Auburn, imagine what he could do with the resources at Kentucky. What's bizarre to me is that of the whole list that I've been hearing of who should coach Kentucky, Bruce Pearl has not been on any serious lists, which is crazy to me. Now, it's looking good that we might get Bruce Pearl at this point, because it seems like that whoever Kentucky is zeroing in on always comes back with a no. So eventually you're going to have to get to people like Bruce Pearl, because who are you going to go after if you don't go after Bruce, if Billy Donovan says no? Is it going to be Shaka Smart? That would be horrible. Is it going to be Chris Beard? That wouldn't be a good look. I think the only man that can do this job is Bruce Pearl. Why we haven't called him, I have no idea. But that is who I think should be the next coach of Kentucky. Now, would I be upset if Rick Pitino came back? No. Partly because I think it would be the greatest story in college basketball history. Talk about a great story. Rick Pitino, one of the most beloved coaches of all time in college basketball, comes back home to Kentucky. Think about how controversial it was when he left Kentucky for its rival, won a championship at both places, Louisville and Kentucky. He got all the Kentucky fans, he turned on them, and then the Kentucky fans turned back on him and didn't want anything to do with him. So this would be a good redemption for Rick Pitino to come back and coach Kentucky. So I wouldn't be mad at it. Do I think that will happen? No. There's a lot of things that you got to factor in. His age. And also, regardless of how much we love Rick Pitino, he still has a lot of baggage. And there's a lot more safer bets than Rick Pitino. And I'm going to say it again. Bruce Pearl, if we don't call him, we're making a mistake. That's who we need to hire. But folks, we have a great show coming at you live right here on Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We will be right back.
You're listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people. WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Radio Lex has the support of vinyl sponsors John and Michelle Gardner. Thank you.
Help keep Lexington's Recycle Center running by recycling properly. Not everything with a recycle symbol can be recycled locally. The following can go in your blue cart or mixed recycling dumpsters: aluminum and steel cans, number 1 and number 2 plastic bottles, jars, and jugs, caps optional, paper, cartons, caps optional.
Yes,
glass bottles and jars,
spilled my coffee. It was
and
bad.
Cardboard and paperboard. Download a flyer at lexingtonky.gov/recycle.
Let's go places safely, Lexington. Has your drive got you riled up? Are you running late? Is everyone in your way? Driving while impatient or upset increases your likelihood of a crash. Take a deep breath. Focus on where you are, not where you need to be. Check your mirrors. Relax your grip on the steering wheel. If your emotions are still getting in the way, get off the road. Get out of your car, stretch, or take a quick walk. In 5 years, you probably won't remember this drive at all. Hi, I'm Kim Sweezy from Toyota, reminding you to take a moment to cool down and get where you're going safely.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. You gotta love the Amanda Show, the Nickelodeon show from back in the 90s. And I love the theme song, too. It was a little skit comedy show starring Amanda Bynes. And Amanda Bynes, somebody who used to be absolutely hilarious, she grew up and ended up with a bunch of mental issues. And now she is out of the business, no longer working, and is having a lot of personal issues, and a lot of it came to light thanks to a new documentary that has been airing on HBO Max. It's a 4-part documentary, and it's called Quite on the Set. And the documentary is talking about discrimination and inappropriate and alleged abuse that happened on the set of Nickelodeon shows back in the 90s. Shows like All That, shows like The Amanda Show, and Zoe 101, Drake and Josh, and so forth. Really, one of the most disturbing things that came to light was the sexual abuse that was done to Drake from Drake and Josh. And in the documentary, it details Drake's getting interviewed, and he details his sexual abuse. And it's very, very, very disturbing to watch and to listen to, because I grew up watching these kids. I grew up watching these kids on TV. Some of my favorite television as a child was watching shows like The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, All That, Kenan and Kel. And to find that after this documentary that a lot of sexual abuse happened to these kids by inappropriate adults is very disturbing. It makes you look at your childhood completely different. It makes you look at what you thought was entertainment in a different way. Because yes, that stuff did bring a lot of enjoyment to my life. But to think about how much pain and how much suffering those kids were going through back in that time when I was enjoying their entertainment is very sad. And the documentary, Quite on Set, it's a 4-part documentary streaming on HBO Max, and it talks about all of the things that happened to these kids. I think Drake was more detailed about his abuse than anybody else, and he was abused by his dialogue coach, Brian Peck, who worked on a lot of Nickelodeon shows. Dan Snyder, who was a big producer and creator for a lot of the shows for Nickelodeon back in the day, also was zeroed in on as a predator from the media. They said that he would always inappropriately touch children or make inappropriate comments or put them in inappropriate skits. And the documentary shows the inappropriate skits that Dan Schneider put these kids through. There's skits where you've got people like Ariana Grande pouring water on herself. You got to think she's like 12 years old, 13 years old. She's pouring water over herself, trying to look, and it's kind of looking like she's trying to be seductive. There's this one scene where she's shaking a potato, trying to get something to squirt out of the potato. And it's very, very distasteful when you go back and look at it, when you realize that a grown man is writing these skits for these kids. And it was a very disturbing documentary, and it definitely rocked my world when I watched it. But it just made me, even during the midst of all of that, it made me very nostalgic from the old days of Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon used to have some bangers on television. Their original TV series were some of the best TV shows on TV. All That, Clarissa Explains It All, Doug, Rugrats, Rocko's Modern Life, The Amanda Show. The list goes on and on and on and on of how many great shows there were. And it made me start thinking of those great shows. And folks, a lot of those great Nickelodeon shows had great theme songs to them. And here on the show, we have talked about theme songs before. We've talked about some of the best theme songs from TV sitcoms, some of the best TV show instrumentals, some of the best cartoon theme songs, some of the best cartoon instrumentals, some of the best scary movie theme songs, the best reality show theme songs, the best game show theme songs, all kinds of different theme songs we've talked about. But we've never talked about the best live-action Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time. And I want to talk about the Nickelodeon theme songs from live-action shows. And what a live-action show is actually human beings doing the show. It's actually people. It's not animated. So shows like the Rugrats and shows like Rocko's Modern Life and Ren and Stimpy and Doug won't be on this list, even though they had some great musical theme songs for their show. They won't be on the list because the following list of great Nickelodeon TV show theme songs that I'm going to play is from live action TV shows. So TV shows that had actual people in them. So to start off my list, of course, The Amanda Show could have started off the list, but to start off my list as one of the best live-action Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time comes from All That, which is possibly the best theme song on the list. Take a listen. This theme song was sang by TLC. It can't really get any cooler than that. TLC back in the 90s was rap. They were so cool, hip, in style. So the fact that Nickelodeon was able to get TLC to sing the theme song of All That was pretty cool. All That was a kids' version of Saturday Night Live. It's where kids did live skits in front of a live studio audience. Iconic, if you ask me. I mean, I could listen to this song if they made it a little longer. It's only a minute long because it was created for a TV show. But I could listen to a 3-minute version of this song. But next on my list, folks, as one of the best live-action Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time comes from Kenan and Kel. Take a listen. This song by Kenan and Kel, Aw, Here It Goes, was sang by Coolio, and that makes it cool. Coolio was a famous rapper back in the 90s. That's what made Nickelodeon so innovative and cool. They used to get rappers and people who were stylish to sing these songs. So you had TLC singing All That. You had Coolio singing the Kenan and Kel song. Kenan and Kel was a spinoff of All That. Kenan and Kel were characters on the All That show, and they got such a following that producers were like, man, we need to give these two their own show. And I think that Kenan and Kel was a better show than All That, if you ask me. But nonetheless, they had a great theme song. Okay, next, folks, on the list as one of the best live-action Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time is from Clarissa Explains It All. This intro, if you go to YouTube and you watch the intro of Clarissa Explains It All, it's like the 1990s just came and threw up all over the screen. It is a very 1990s opening. So do yourself a favor and go YouTube Clarissa Explains It All and just watch the opening of the TV show. But this theme song was so fun and so cool and very poppy. It doesn't have lyrics. The only lyric you have in this song is na 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 na. Clarissa was one of the first live action shows for Nickelodeon, and it was one of Nickelodeon's most popular TV shows that they've ever produced. Melissa Joan Hart, many people know her as Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but I will always know her as Clarissa. I always loved Clarissa's bedroom when I watched her show. I loved the fact that she had a window seat and that her friend Sam always used to climb through her window to come visit. I always thought that would be really cool to have a childhood like that where you could just have friends come over crawling through your window. Okay, coming up next on my list, folks, is one of the best live-action Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time. Comes from Salute Your Shorts. Take a listen of this intro to Salute Your Shorts. It's about a summer camp. It's about summer camp, and it feels low budget when you watch the intro and you hear the song, but it makes it even better, I think. What I love about this show is, or really the intro of this show, is when you watch it, it looks like that the actors are really struggling singing the song, which makes it more realistic, because you guys know kids aren't very good at memorizing things. They're not really good at singing along and singing songs. So the fact that they were able to have all of those kids do this intro to make it look like they can't really act makes it even better. Salute Your Shorts was a great Nickelodeon TV show, and they had a great theme song with it. It always made me want to go to summer camp. This show right here. Okay, coming up next, folks, on my list is one of the best live-action Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time. Comes from Drake and Josh. Now, this song is an actual song sang by Drake Bell. I mentioned Drake earlier. He was one of the biggest victims of the abuse that happened in the 1990s on the Nickelodeon sets. He tells his story in great detail on that documentary. If you want to hear his story, you can watch the documentary and hear it. Even listening to this song now, I can't really listen to it the same way because I just feel sorry for him. It's definitely a catchy tune. Now, Drake and Josh was a Nickelodeon TV show that came along right when I was getting out of the Nickelodeon world. I was starting to grow up and watch more mature things. So Nickelodeon was kind of in my rear view mirror when Drake and Josh come along. So I really wasn't a fan of the show. I didn't watch it much, but they had a great theme song. Okay, coming up next on my list is one of the best Nickelodeon live-action TV show theme songs is from The Adventures of Pete and Pete. They were very innovative with their intro because back then, on a kid's show, you didn't have an indie rock band playing your music. You had music that was very poppy, very kid-like, like Clarissa or Salute Your Shorts. But Pete and Pete actually had a real rock independent artist sing their theme song, Polaris. This is a real song. It's called Hey Sandy. So it makes their theme song definitely iconic and one of the best Nickelodeon live-action theme songs of all time. I would definitely listen to this song on my own time, just like I would with the All That theme song. Such a good show, and such a good theme song. Okay, next on my list, folks, is going to be from Zoe 101. Again, this is a show that I didn't watch because I was on my way out of Nickelodeon, but when you go back and you listen to the theme song, man, was it a good theme song for Nickelodeon. Zoe 101 stars Britney Spears' younger sister. Did you guys know that Britney Spears co-wrote the theme song that you're listening to now? No wonder it was a banger. You had the iconic Princess of Pop writing the song. This song is called Follow Me. Zoe 101, again, another show with a very cool concept that I always envied. She went to a prep school, and she got to basically live the college life in high school. And I always thought that was pretty cool. All right, next on my list is one of the best Nickelodeon live-action TV show theme songs. Comes from iCarly. It's called Leave It All to Me. And this song is by Miranda Cosgrove. And this song was co-written by Drake Bell from Drake and Josh. I like the guitar riffs, I like the beat, and the lyrics aren't bad too if you listen to them. All right, next on my list is one of the best Nickelodeon live-action TV show theme songs of all time. Comes from Hey Dude, which is actually Nickelodeon's very first live-action TV show they ever had. Take a listen at their original TV show theme song from Hey Dude. If you watch the intro, it looks a lot like Gilligan's Island, except just a very hillbilly rancher-style version of Gilligan's Island. And this was about a bunch of kids that worked on a ranch. And I've got one more for the audience, and this will conclude my list of some of the best live-action Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time. And this is just an instrumental, folks. There's no lyrics to this theme song. This is from Are You Afraid of the Dark, which was supposed to be a scary TV show for kids. So the music was pretty freaky. It definitely got you in the mood to be scared. Are You Afraid of the Dark was the last show that came on the Snick block on Saturday night, so it would conclude their big prime time block of shows, and it was always a great show. They don't make shows like that for Nickelodeon anymore. I think the prime of Nickelodeon television was definitely in the 1990s, and there were a ton of other great Nickelodeon TV show theme songs, and most of them are animated. But like I said, I wanted to do the live-action TV show theme songs. Maybe eventually, if there's ever another Nickelodeon news story where we could talk about Nickelodeon again, I will add to that segment by playing for the audience the best animated Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time. But there you go, folks. That is the best live-action Nickelodeon TV show theme songs of all time. We still have lots more off the cuff coming at you live after these words, folks. Stick with us. We will be right back.
You are listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington.
Let's go places safely, Lexington. Have you been drinking? If so, you probably shouldn't be behind the wheel.
Hey, Elaine.
Adults metabolize alcohol at the rate of 1 drink per hour. If you've been drinking, your judgment is impaired, whether you realize it or not.
It's pretty
It's
bad.
not the type of drink that
The weather's pretty bad here too. Like it's pretty cloudy and overcast, and it looks like it's going to storm. I don't know though. I'm not a very big weather person, so I just kind of take it as it comes.
of all fatal crashes during the day and 30% of all fatal crashes at night. Hi, I'm Sue from Toyota, reminding you to find a designated driver if you've been drinking and keep the roads safe for everyone.
You an indie artist, got music? Let me see something. You want to get put on the radio? Let me see something. You an indie artist, got music? Let me see something. Cause I can put you on in rotation, let you be something. You got cash or trash? You got cash or trash? That's right. I'm trying to find out who got that cash or that trash. So let me see something. and send over your radio edit music to cash or trash radiolex@gmail.com. And see if you got that. Or do you got that? Only on Radio Lex 93.9 FM. Located inside of the Juliet Market on the corner of 101 West Loudon Avenue. Make sure you tune in every Wednesday live, 2 p.m. with your favorite radio host, Cash Love.
Take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly.
That's going to make me fall asleep. That meditation there.
Center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ed Council.
Radio Lex has the support of Founders Circle member L. Tracy Whitley. Thanks, Tracy.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. UConn is the 2024 NCAA men's basketball champions. They defeated Purdue this past Monday night to capture their 6th national title. All right, the debates have to be over. UConn is officially a blue blood program. UConn is the 8th different program to repeat as champions. They just went back-to-back. The first time since Florida has done it back in 2007. But listen, they're only the 8th team to ever do back-to-back championships. They are Oklahoma State, Kentucky, UCLA, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Duke, and of course Florida was the last to do it. But UConn won last year, and now here we are again in 2024 talking about UConn repeating as the national champion. And of course, that is why Dan Hurley has been one of the most sought-after coaches in the last couple of months because of his success at UConn. Now, Dan Hurley has something to do. He can do something really special if he wants, and that is chase a three-peat. He could possibly win 3 national championships at UConn. So maybe that is one of the biggest reasons of why Dan Hurley was not interested in the Kentucky job. But regardless, UConn is definitely a blue blood program, and there was always debate as to whether UConn was a blue blood program. But they have to be. 6 national titles? 6? UConn is now tied with North Carolina for third. They're tied with North Carolina for third for most national championships behind only Kentucky with 8 and UCLA with 7. Now, UConn's tied with North Carolina as the third. They both got 6. So Duke, they've got 5. Indiana, what do they got? 5. Kansas has 4. So all of these great schools that you're putting always in front of UConn, you better think again. UConn now has 6. And it's funny to me because I really do think that UConn could win 20, 25 national championships. And you're still not going to make the people in Connecticut care about basketball. They just don't seem to care about it there. So Connecticut is going to be always one of those interesting places to play, one of those interesting places to coach because nobody cares about Connecticut. But nonetheless, they still are a blue blood program, and congratulations to the University of UConn for going back to back. All right, folks, I think this is a great time to play Off the Cuff's Song of the Week. And I have just recently discovered this artist that I'm going to play for you guys. His name is Connor Price, and he doesn't play long songs. He doesn't produce long songs, but all of his songs are 2 to 3 minutes, but they are definitely bangers. And I want to play one for you. If you follow me on social media, you'll probably be like, oh, I recognize that guy. I hear him from your show. I hear him from your Facebook or your Instagram all the time. But I've never really got a chance to play him on the show, so I feel like this would be a good opportunity for me to do that now. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is Connor Price with Trend Setter. And I tell you what, he is, if I can get my music playing. And when we come back, we're going to go over Off the Cuff's quote of the week. So without any further ado, folks, here is Connor Price with Trend Setter. We'll be back after the song.
Ironic how the world stops when I spin a globe. Always showing up. Last year's song still holding up. See the name now and they know what's up. Price at the top and it's going up. I'm a trendsetter. Whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit a dead center. Hit a dead center. Yeah, trendsetter. Whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit a dead center. Hit a dead center.
B.O.D. Get the spell check, a fact check, and prevent errors. Throwing up, see the band lever. Jalapeno hot, y'all just red peppers. All y'all copy copies, but I'm left center, yeah. Attack center, hit it with a French tenor. Crazy, wait until I do the next record. I leave head seven, I don't need to hit the bench ever. But if I do, I be all to the next level. All those lines to do things. Homie Big Daddy and the big body brand. Homie Big Daddy Adam Sandler. Bullseye, in my boy cottage with a bullseye.
Always showing up. Last year's song still holding up. See the name now and they know what's up. Price at the top and it's going up.
A lot of people saying that they were unable to hear the first part of the song. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. You gotta love technology. And it seems like that my technology always works perfect when I'm not on the air, but as soon as I go on the air, it just wants to play its games. And it definitely was trying to play with me and test my temper today. But that was Connor Price. Sorry you didn't get the full effect. Maybe I'm going to have to use him again as one of my songs of the week so you can hear the talent of Connor Price. But folks, let's get to Off the Cuff's quote of the week. And this week's quote comes from Will Smith. Will Smith is an American actor, rapper, and film producer. Many people probably don't know that Will Smith's actual name is Willard Smith. So Will is for short of Willard. But the quote of the week is this: talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. And I love that quote because talent is something natural that you're born with. You either have it or you don't. The ability to sing, the ability to act. I mean, there's so much talent that you can be born with, but you have to know how to separate talent and skill. Talent you have naturally. Skill is something that you can perfect by working on it for hours and hours and hours at a time. So yes, you can be not good at something, but if you work on it and you work on that skill and you beat your craft and you perfect it, you can become better. So a lot of people, when they're born with talent, they don't have to worry about working on their skill to make it better. They're naturally just good at it. Have you ever wondered why people can sing and they don't have to take singing lessons? They don't have to take hours and hours of classes to help them sing better? No, because it's a natural talent. They're born with it. But you can also have a skill that you can work on that you can become better at. Skill is something that you can become, or there are things out there that you can become better at by just working on it and working on it hours and hours and hours at a time. So radio, yes, it's a talent that you can be born with, being good at broadcasting. However, if you're not good at it, it still can be perfected if you work on it day in and day out, beating on your craft. And you have to learn how to separate that. Talent is natural and skill is not. It's something that you can perfect by working on it. Like I know a lot of people who are very talented at working odd jobs. A handyman, for instance. I think those are some of the most talented people on earth. They impress me more than any other people out there. But more than people that can do good social media videos or can sing a song or can write a book. Those handymen out there that can fix things or can see a project and just automatically do it, that's impressive. And it's not a skill. I think it's a talent. You either have it or you don't. Because trust me, there are things that I want to do, and I want to be able to know how to do things. Don't you think I would love to just know how to hang a TV on my wall? And people will laugh at me and say, you don't know how to do that? No! No, I don't. So, I think that people that can do things like that are talented people. Yes, that's also something that can be a skill. So maybe you can become better at it by working on it over and over and over. But there is a difference. There is a difference in talent and skill. And the difference is this. Talent is natural and skill is not. Skill is something that you can work on over and over and over. And that, folks, is Off the Cuff's quote of the week. Stick with us. We still have one more segment to go. We'll be right back.
The faster you're traveling, the time and distance required to stop your vehicle increases. Speeding also increases the chances you'll lose control. Hi, this is Josh Haynes with State Farm, reminding you to be a good neighbor. Take it easy, slow down, and get where you're going safely.
Lexington Community Radio is proud to have the support of founding community partner and State Farm agent Deborah Hensley. Deborah believes in giving every member of our community a chance to let their voice be heard to unify and strengthen our city. To learn more, you can visit deborahhensley.com or call 276-3244.
Here I am in this dang bed, and who's gonna feed them hogs? 400 hogs, they just standing out there. My wife can't feed them, and my neighbors don't care. They can't get out and roam around like my old hunting dogs. Here I am in this dang bed, and who's gonna feed?
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you, last segment of the hour. John Calipari is going to be the man that's feeding the hogs. They have already coined a new phrase. It's called cow them hogs. Instead of call those hogs, it's cow those hogs. Who's going to cow those hogs? That's going to be John Calipari now. He is gone, folks. He is no longer in the Commonwealth. It's made a lot of people happy. Now, I was not one of those people that was happy, but now that he's gone, it is what it is. Time to move on. Time to get excited about a new era. And whoever we hire, I'll be vocal about my opinion on whether I think he'll do a good job. But regardless of who it is, I will rock with him. I will get behind him, and I will support him until he gives me reason not to. But hey, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to tell you if I am upset with the hire that we make. Mitch Barnhart, I don't know how much I trust him with his decisions. He scares me. He is the same guy who hired Joker Phillips. He is the same guy who hired Billy Gillespie. He is the same guy that hired Kyra Elsey. He is the same guy that hired the horrific Mark Stoops. And I know that he's got a track record of hiring just terrible coaches. So what's to say this isn't going to be any different? Kenny Brooks for the women's, who knows how he's going to be? Calipari, was that one of his hires? Some people say it was. Yes, he was the AD when he was hired, but I could have hired Calipari back in 2009. Calipari would have crawled here. So I think that people were pushing Mitch Barnhart to hire John Calipari. But, folks, in light of John Calipari leaving the University of Kentucky, I would like to end the show with much happier days back in Lexington. Back in 2009, when John Calipari was introduced as the new head coach of the University of Kentucky. Take a listen at what it used to be like here at Kentucky. This is John Calipari's press conference back in 2009 when he was introduced as the new head coach. Take a listen at the energy and just take a listen at the aura that you can just hear in this clip of the excitement that people are. You know it's serious. You know Kentucky basketball is about to get real serious again just by these clips. Just for some nostalgic reasons, let's go back to the day John Calipari was hired as the coach here in Lexington. He seems very excited there. Doesn't sound like you said that at Arkansas. This was his dream job. It really was. So Arkansas, yeah, he's there with you now, and he can talk about how it's a blue blood and how it's one of the best coaching jobs in college basketball. He's letting everybody know that Kentucky was his dream job. Yeah, do not hire him if you want something to happen in a year. Cal, you changed the whole program within a year. You made it go from the bottom to the top. You brought in the best class, my favorite class that Kentucky ever had. John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Eric Bledsoe. They were all from you in your first year. You took us to an Elite Eight. You made Kentucky prominent again. We were national news stories. We were on every headline. We were on the ticker on every channel of ESPN. Kentucky basketball was back within a year. So when you said don't expect nothing to happen in a year, look at what you did in a year. And he did get it right. We were number one seeds. We were playing in Final Fours, and we were number one in the country. Here he's talking about his dribble drive offense, which I'm going to fast forward through that because dribble drive was something he only did really for a year. And he did it. Reed Shepherd, Dominique Hawkins, Jared Polson. I mean, listen at the people laugh. He had everybody in Kentucky. He had everybody in Kentucky in the palm of his hands within the first 5 minutes of his press conference. Exactly. And you did add to the wall back in 2012, and we really do appreciate that from you, Cal. And I'm telling you, folks, we're not going to have another press conference like that. The energy is not going to be like that. You can have a pep rally all you want. You can have people screaming and crying and yelling and going on and barking, but it's not going to be the same feeling as it was back in 2009 when Calipari was introduced as the head coach. So we had a jewel. We don't have him no more. I do think, and I'm hopeful, that we can have another one. And I think that guy is Bruce Pearl. Get on the phone right now and call him, Mitch Barnhart. But ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps up another episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. I want to thank everyone for listening. You can follow the show on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow me, the host, on social media at The Adam Banks. We release new episodes every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM, which means we will be back same time, same place. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Adam Banks, and this is Off the Cuff. I will catch you down the road. Thank you guys for listening.